Hello you guys, let's do my November wrap up and happy Bookmas Day too. It's officially December. Disclaimer, I did think today's Sunday right now, December 1st. I thought December 1st was on Monday. So I thought I had all day today to finish reading books. So I didn't. So we're still in the middle of a few books for my November reads, but I'm going to finish them hopefully quickly into December so I can get into my December TBR because I'm so excited for them. But let's talk about all the books that I read and didn't read. I didn't read all the books I was hoping for, but the books I read I did love and really enjoy. This last week of holidays and traveling really interfered with the reading, but okay, it's okay because we spent time with family and friends. But let's talk about all the books I had planned to read for November. So we have Ashes in the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent, Nightbane by Alex Astor, Sky Shade by Alex Astor, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, sorry for the glare, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake, In the Weeds by B.K. Borison, The Institute by Stephen King, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. So let's talk about what I read. Like I said, I didn't read all of them, or most of them, honestly. But the books that I had that I didn't read, I do want to read really soon. So if I get to them in December, but if not, like early next year, I would like to get to them because I am excited for all the books that were on this TBR. The books that I am in the middle of currently is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. I'm really enjoying this. I'm not that far into it because I started it when I was traveling, but the writing is beautiful and I'm enjoying the story so far. It's about four sisters, one passes away, and them kind of addressing it and dealing with their grief and kind of all being separate right now with where they're living in their lives. But I think they're going to end up coming together to discuss and talk about everything and deal with the grief together and moving forward. So I think this is going to hit on, but I'm enjoying it so far. I am in the middle of Quicksilver. This is a romantasy series following our main character. I'm not super far into it. I do have it on Kindle. It's free on Kindle, and I did get it on Audible because everyone talks about how the audiobook is amazing. Due to the dual narrators of Kingfisher, which is the main guy in this book, I've officially met him, but I'm not far into it. It follows our main character, and she is like in this society that is living in this district that's really poor and just not getting basic needs because of their queen that's in charge. And she ends up stealing something and being taken to the queen to have to deal with the repercussions of what she did, and it kind of escalates from there and figuring out this magical world that's happening and her mission in the story. But I'm enjoying it so far. Again, I'm not far into it because I'm traveling, but I'm hoping to finish it soon. I got it on audiobook, so I'm really hoping to get through it because I'm excited to see what everyone talks about with Kingfisher. And then I'm in the middle of Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I am listening to this on audiobook, and this is the one I'm the most into. I'm over halfway with this book, and I am really enjoying it. This book is the second book in the From Blood and Ash series by JLA. This is a fantasy series, romantasy series. The first book follows our main character, and she like lives in this world where she is viewed as a gift to the gods. She's kind of like kept hidden, and she follows all these rules. It's really hard to explain. Even reading it right now, there's still things that I'm like, so much is going on, but I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm actually having a great time. I'm excited to see where it goes, and there's some characters in here that I really love, some side characters that I'm loving. So I am really enjoying this a lot, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And let's talk about the books that I actually did read this month. We'll start off with Ashes in the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This book I gave a 4.5. I love this book. This is the second book in the Crowns of Nyaxia following Rain and Aurea, and this is their last book. This is a series called the Crowns of Nyaxia series, but they're duets in it. So like the first two books is one couple, the next two books are another couple, and so this was their end, and I loved it. I was so upset that I didn't read it sooner because I was kind of putting it off after reading the first book, and I loved the first book, and I never read this, but then I read the novella between these two, and I loved that, and I was like, okay, now I need to get to it. I'm so happy I did. The enemies to lovers in this I love so much. Rain, I love him, absolutely love him. The way he would do anything for her, and I love that she's like, he's my enemy, he doesn't love me, but as a reader you can see how down bad he is for her and will do anything for her, and them just like coming to terms with the relationship, the political aspects and the wars that are brewing, and the magic system, and her finding herself as well, just in who she is and her powers and the way she's maybe been portrayed or felt growing up to where she is now. I love this book so much. It follows, I didn't say what it's about. It follows her main character Aurea, and she's a human in the vampire world. Her dad that took her in is the king of vampires, and she ends up wanting to compete in this tournament to get a gift from the gods, but she is a human with against a bunch of vampires. So she ends up teaming up with another vampire, and it kind of goes from there. This one is after the whole situation of the first book, but I really enjoyed it. And again, I loved the couple in the first book, but I honestly, like, this just solidified how much I love them together. It was so good. The Frown family, the friendships that are involved in this, and just the war aspects I really enjoyed, of like going, like, just there's different vampires types and they're at war. It's just so fun. And I'm so excited because the next duet is based off Misha, which is one of the side characters in here, and I love her so much, so I can't wait to see her story. But I really enjoyed this book and I highly recommend it. It's such a great book. It's trials, vampires, enemies to lovers, forbidden romance, magical powers, war, politics, scheming, betrayal. I love it. It's such a great time. Next, I read Nightbane by Alex Astor. This is book 2, following Lightlark, which follows our main character Isla, and she lives in this world where there's different realms and there's different rulers of each realm, and they come together every centennial on Lightlark to compete and to also try to break a curse that's put upon all of them. So it's her going into that and working on figuring out how to break this curse and doing the trials. I loved it so much. It was fast-paced, the banter, the twists and turns, never knowing who to trust, the romance in here, amazing. So this book follows that first book, and it's the after effects of this. This one I loved. We got another POV of like the past timeline, and I ate that up. This has a love triangle in it. We have Aurora and Grimm. Grimm is like the shadow, dark, like evil guy, and then Aurora's more like the sunlight, good guy. I'm Team Grimm all the way, all the way. I absolutely love this. I gave this one a 5 stars. The books are just so fast-paced and addictive. Like, are they maybe the most elaborate, life-changing books when it comes to the magic system? No, but it's so fun. The magic is fun and interesting in this book, and then I also just love the twists and turns. Never knowing who to trust. This book really put me on my 10 toes and made me have trust issues because I was like, I don't know who to trust, and I'm scared of trusting anyone. It was so good. The ending, the back and forth, I just had so much fun with this, dealing with the after effects of what was happening. And it's hard to talk about this book because I feel like these books are amazing to go into not knowing much, because there are so many twists and turns in these books, and it makes it so exciting and just entertaining and intriguing to like not want to put it down. I listened to them all in audio. I love the audiobooks a lot with these books, and I highly recommend it. I get this book a 5 star. It was just fun. Like, the vibes are just what I needed. It was addictive. I was gasping. I was giggling, falling in love. You know, it was just amazing. But I'm Team Grimm all the way. And then we read Sky Shade by Alex Astor. This is book 3 and the newest release in this series. This was supposed to be a trilogy, and it's now a 5-book series at the moment. So I really enjoyed this book. There is some controversy about if it should have been extended because of the love triangle still, you know, being questionable in this book. Honestly, I'm just here for the ride. Whatever happens, I'm just going into it, having a good old time. This one I gave 4 stars. It wasn't as much fun, I feel like, or as, I don't know what it was. Just the first 2 books had something in it that made me like just so giddy and obsessed. This one I still really enjoyed, but the back and forth I understand with the love triangle was kind of like, please, there is one Grimm who it should be. So we just get to going on that. But the ending of this one, I'm excited to see what the next 2 books entail, and I will be 100% continuing with this series. I love it so much. I had such a great time. I highly recommend these books. Also, I feel like for a reading slump, it's such a good way to get out of it because it's so mindless, but also there's so much going on at all times that you're just enthralled and engaged in it. So I highly recommend these 2. And the series, I loved it. I'm so happy I read them this year, and I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the series next year. Team Grimm all the way. Oral's not bad, but just Team Grimm. Like, when you get this book, like, Grimm, okay? It has to be. Anyways, next, the last 2 books I read was The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. This is an older book duology that was really hyped about when it first came out and then kind of simmered down. But then recently, I feel like it's been talked about a lot, and it has become my new favorite duology. I love these books so much and these characters. So this follows a group of 6 misfits. We have Kaz, Matthias, Inej, Nina, Jesper, and Waylon. And in this society, they live in this city full of different areas of the city that are ruled by kind of different gang lords, and different groups kind of inhabit their own area, and they have their own businesses going on. And so Kaz is one of the leaders of one of the gangs, and he is asked to form a group to do a heist to break out this person from a like max security and possible prison, because he has produced something that could be volatile to society. And so he gets his group of friends, and they have to go through this heist, okay? And that is wonderful, amazing, stunning. The ending of this was like, what's gonna happen next? And then we go into this book, and it follows what happened in the first book and then continues on with it. I think going through these books back to back and together, it's like one full story. I feel like the storyline, the main kind of issue or plot in each book is different, and that makes it that's what makes it enjoyable, because it feels like you're reading the same people obviously, and there's like the same overarching storyline, but it's not repetitive of the first book. It's like a whole new thing going on, but still, like, you know, maintaining the whole course, because it's like one story. One thing I love about this book is that it can seem daunting to have 6 different POVs for every single person here. And at first it's kind of, I was like, am I going to be attached to these characters? Am I going to feel for them or really care about all their POVs? Plus, we also get past POVs for like every character of kind of how they got to where they are and like why they're part of this group, why they're willing to participate in a potential deadly heist, and you get attached. Somehow Lee Bardugo weaves it so seamlessly that you learn about their past, you learn why they're here, what they've went through, and then also like their role now, and it just makes you so attached to the characters in this found family group. Every character in here has like their own kind of quirk or attribute that makes them special to the group and adds something to them. The found family in this is so beautiful. I want what's best for them at all time, and I want them just to be happy. I love books where we have like things going on and you don't know how you're gonna make it out of here, or you're like questioning how it's gonna work out, and then you realize you go back and see how things were put into place previously to help in a future situation. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a mastermind. Kaz is a mastermind, and it's crazy. This book keeps you also on your 10 toes because you'll think, okay, we made it out, we're good, we have time to chill, and then immediately something else happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are we gonna get a break? Oh, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, what's gonna happen? Or you're like, oh my god, we're stuck, we're done, this is it, we're not getting out, we're not making it out of this, and then something happens and you're like, the genius of these characters, or Lee Bardugo, whatever. But it's so good, it's so fun. I don't want to talk too much about this book obviously, but it's just continuation of this story and like a new kind of goal for this book. But there's still like like I said, a main plot line that is taking place from the first book and over into this book. The ending made me emotional at times, but I loved it. I just love the found family. I want them all to be so happy. I will say the ending of this book makes it feel like we could have more books with them, and I need more books, because like, what do you mean I don't know what they're doing right now? What do you mean I don't know how they're living their life? Like, I would love another book, another series with these characters and what they're doing now, because I just love them, I miss them. There was like comedic relief in this, there were sad moments, there were like stressful moments, moments of maybe like anger or upset. It was like everything. I mean, like, there's a nice comedic relief in this series as well, of just like random moments, because these characters are kids. Like, they are young, like really young, like teenagers living in this life. So some of the things they say or do is so funny. There is also, I forgot to say, there is a smidgen of romance in here. I will say that the plot and the storyline are so entertaining, and the characters are so entertaining that it's not necessary, but it did add, and I did really enjoy it, because it was like little moments of it sprinkled here and there. It wasn't like shoved in your face, and it wasn't like romance heavy, but the things we got were just so sweet and wholesome, and I was like, "Ugh, please," like, yes. So I love this book so much. I love this duology. I had such a great time, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't read it yet. Go read it, because it's so good, and you will have a newfound family of 6 misfits that deserve the world and more. That is all the books I read for November. It wasn't a very crazy book for the amount of books, but the quality of the books, I had a great time with the books I read. I loved them all. The lowest one I have rated is a 4-star, so I think we did pretty good. And I read a lot of series and continuing series, so that was really fun. I have a video coming out of all the books and series I'm in the middle of, but now I'm catching up on them, so go me. We're doing our thing. But yes, those are all the books I read for November. Let me know down below what books you read in November, what books of mine that I've read that you've also read, what books you're interested in reading that I've read. Let's chat down below about the books, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Bookmas Day 3.